turn left.
I told you. Remember when I told you about 9/11? Remember when I told you about Building 7? Remember when I told you about the fluoride in the water? Yes, I did. Remember when I told you about the New World Order? Remember that? Remember when I told you about the chemtrails in the sky? Remember when I told you that NASA was full of lies? Remember when I told you about the ultra mind control? Well, I just want to say that I told you so, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Know Your Enemies podcast. I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth.
At the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in all the land.
Yeah, hope everybody's having a fantastic week. What's going on, everybody? So we got some craziness going on with this whole Tesla thing. All right, we're gonna
fighting.
Yeah, these people are absolutely out of their minds, as always. Have you seen all these? Now it's not the Tesla takedown; it's the hands-off protest. Have you seen these things? No. Oh my God! So the goblins are out in full force with the orcs, and they're running around like psychopaths everywhere. And I got a good clip we can get into real quick from Nick Shirley on YouTube. So make sure you go subscribe to him and tell him I sent you. And we'll pull up this clip real quick. Yo, watch this.
These anti-Trump and anti-Elon Musk
we can get some audio out
what
here.
They're protesting for. Let's see who we can get up here. Wow.
I just want to remind you of protest procedure. Don't film unless it's consent of anyone's faces. And we'd ask if you
are on public property, though, so we can film.
Are you part of
the
protest?
This guy right here, this maniac, starts to chase this guy everywhere.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me!
Whoa.
Don't touch me!
I didn't touch you for nothing.
You touched me! Don't touch me!
You want some money? He's touching
Can we
him.
get someone around these people, please?
Elbows. Easy.
Elbows.
Elbows. Easy.
No.
Easy.
You're not here to.
Wait.
You're not here for the protest.
Whoa.
Police.
What? Get the police. What did I do?
Don't feed the trolls.
No.
Elbows around.
Elbows around. Holy cow. Don't let me go. Ooh, what are you going to do?
Elbows.
So this is what happens when you try to be a conservative at one of these
we are peaceful.
rallies.
What the hell is going on out here? Watch, he can't keep running. Okay, what is going on, everybody? Look, we got a crowd coming.
He's got
Dude,
to run.
he touched me. Bro, get off me. He's touching me. I know I'm attracted, but I'm not that attracted.
It's a shame, man, because this is the party that says, "Oh, we're about tolerance and peace."
Go, ma'am. Stop following me, bro. What are you doing? Continue our
security. He's not allowed to be here.
Probably no security. I could have brought a construction vest as well.
It's basically they're upset with Elon Musk and
you guys get off me.
And Trump, yeah. Social Security, the Medicaid, and it's a big fraud.
Ma'am, I came in a suit to be respectful for you guys today. Oh, geez, are you moaning, sir? Drop the moan.
He's riding up on me.
He's riding up on me.
So that's what you see every time that you go to these protests and these weirdos show up, and nobody can even speak. They don't know why they're there. They can't give any good talking points on what they stand for, and it's a mess. It's a mess, and I 100% blame the mainstream media for this, right? Because their Operation Mockingbird, where all the media throughout the country parrot the same exact things, they're the ones responsible for all this, because what they're doing is they're telling the elderly that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are going to terminate your Social Security and your Medicare, right? So all these old people, that's why you see everybody that's like 60 plus, 65 plus, all on the front lines going crazy, because they think that they're genuinely that their Medicaid and everything that they love and the little bit of money that they get every month is at jeopardy, and it's going to be all canceled and taken away, and they're going to be rotting homeless on the streets. So that's what the news has done to these people.
What the mainstream media does, and they've been doing it for a long time. They completely brainwash and indoctrinate people into thinking that one side is in jeopardy of taking everything that they stand for, they use every month on the limited fixed incomes they have.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's such a big deal that we have to repeal the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama put in place. I say it all the time. The Smith-Mundt Act needs to go, get repealed, so we could stop putting propaganda
Lies. Yeah, it's lies.
on American soil, because
The mainstream media is allowed to lie to the public, and Obama made that possible with the Smith-Mundt Act.
Yep. So make sure you drill that into your congressmen and all the legislators to repeal that, because it's very important. And Trump needs to hear it, so making sure the ripple effect goes all the way up the ladder, you know.
Absolutely.
So tariffs. Let's talk about tariffs. That's another thing that people are trying to melt down about, because they think that the prices and everything are going to explode because of what Trump's doing, and it's really irresponsible and yada, 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 yada. So if you don't understand how tariffs work, when somebody makes a product outside of the United States and they have to ship it in, what they do is they charge the people that are receiving the product for the labor, the shipping, the going overseas. All of that stuff is incorporated down to the payroll of the employees in the labor yards. So they take that and then they beef it up a little bit more to make some profit on it. And that's what the tariffs are. So as a country, when we receive a product, it's jacked up a very high percentage more than it's supposed to be. And we have to eat the tariff on that and eat the cost to get it into our country. What Trump is doing is he's making reciprocal tariffs where whatever the country is charging us, we're going to charge them to come into our country. So it kind of cancels out the debt and the overinflation of that product here in America. So what that also is doing is incentivizing companies that produce the products in these big factories to come back to America, because they don't want to lose their profits that they already made overseas, and they'll start chipping away at that immediately. So that's basically how tariffs work. It's putting extra cost on goods for whatever services are provided to get those goods into wherever they're going. So Trump's not putting tariffs on countries for no reason. He's getting the people that have been ripping us off decade after decade after decade and leveling the playing field so we could actually start making some money the way we're supposed to be. So craziness. Tariffs are good. Don't let them fool you. Tariffs are very good.
Well, I know that they cut the national debt in half by using tariffs. I think it was FDR that did that.
Yeah. Tariffs are powerful. Our entire country was fueled off tariffs.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Before they started going after our income.
Yeah. Yeah.
And taxing
exactly.
our income. Before that, they were just using tariffs to run our whole government.
Yeah. There was no absorbent taxes like we have now, where you're taxed on everything. It was just tariffs and sales tax back in the day.
Everybody now is paying close to $20,000 a year in property taxes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's ludicrous.
Absolutely
Meanwhile, you go to the Dominican
ridiculous.
Republic, buy a house, and you don't have any taxes.
Yeah.
And they have traffic signals that have countdown timers on them, so that you're not at risk of in an accident, because you know how much time you have before the light goes yellow.
Yep.
In Mexico, the green lights start blinking green about 20 seconds before they turn yellow. But here they play trickery games to steal your money, because they're not content with the $20,000 a year that they're stealing from you in property taxes.
Exactly. And speaking of saving money, Lee Zeldin has been doing his thing over at the EPA, and he's been getting money left and right saved and closing down programs. I have a clip of him talking about the new stuff that he's doing.
I know he found them trying to steal $20 billion.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was able to retain that money. I hope he was.
Yeah. Roll this clip, make it full screen so everybody can see it nice and big. And
Give us some audio.
Listen to this one.
Government says we can't get out $20 billion on our own. We, the United States of America. Here's the difference between this Trump administration and maybe any other presidency. It doesn't take years to get to the bottom of it. Here, we canceled a $50 million grant to Climate Justice Alliance. They say that climate justice is through a free Palestine. $50 million grant to them, canceled. $60 million going towards DEI and environmental justice, canceled. Over $1 million in media subscriptions that the EPA was paying for, canceled. There's something that's hitting different about the Trump presidency, and I'm so excited about the years that are ahead. So I come in and I ask for the stat from the team. I want to know just how empty has this building been. This is a big, beautiful building. The highest single day of attendance since January of 2024. The record high attendance, 37%. On no day, at no point, were we at more than 37%.
Okay, so
we are back. We
Nice.
are back. All right.
Hats off to Lee Zeldin.
Yeah. Good job, Lee.
Yeah,
Good
man.
job. So Doge.
Just so those who are listening know, Lee Zeldin helped me retain my broker's license after it was revoked by Cuomo's minions after I destroyed the red light cameras. So shout out to Lee Zeldin. Thank you for your efforts in helping me retain my broker's license. I am a real estate broker.
Yeah. Craziness. So speaking of savings, we got Doge racking in the dollars left and right. And so they just closed down a few more programs. We had 229,000 saved for 100 for marketing 100% organic shea butter in Burkina Faso. Wherever the hell
Where
that
is that?
That's
That
what I'm
sounds
saying.
That's money right there being laundered and kicked back to
Yeah.
bad people.
So, and then we had $84,000 for a business incubator and spa and wellness for entrepreneurs in Nigeria. $239,000 for marketing pineapple juice in Benin.
How much?
200 and
29,000.
yeah, 239
Oh, no,
for
that's-
pineapple juice. All right?
229 was the marketing 100% organic shea butter,
Yeah,
and 239 for pineapple juice.
yo, it's crazy. Crazy. How about this one? 246,000 for a mango drying facility on the Ivory Coast.
Insanity. Well, I know chicks dig it when their men drink pineapple juice.
Oh my God! How about 99,000 to increase yogurt production in Uganda?
Insanity. Why do we piss this money away?
$48,000 for a WhatsApp marketing chatbot in Kenya. $50,000 to train farmers to grow dragon fruit in Senegal.
It's just money just being pissed away.
Yeah. What the hell is wrong with these people? Our government from the past has no idea what was going on. Actually, I think they knew exactly what was going on, and they were outfitting all these different programs with the max amount of money so they can trickle it down back to themselves.
Yeah, it was some kind of serious money laundering operation. Well, what happened with the Supreme Court?
So the Supreme Court, we got two wins coming out of the Supreme Court this week. We have Donald Trump. The Supreme Court ruled with him on starting up the deportations of these people.
No, to keep them going. To keep them going.
Well, yeah, starting up because they were on hold for a little bit with the judge, with the rogue judge, and so they gave him the green light to go ahead with that. And then there was another.
I mean, I don't know why the hesitation. He's only deporting people that came here illegally and they were problematic. These people.
Yeah.
It's not like they were angels. He's deporting criminals.
Exactly. And then another Supreme Court ruling was that the finances through our executive branch that Doge is going after, where they try to say, oh, he doesn't have the authority to go into these departments. Guess what? The Supreme Court just ruled that we do. So, it's going down. You're all getting caught. So,
In what departments?
and with Elon Musk, so you have
They were
were
saying
trying to
that
say we couldn't
he
go
wasn't
into the
allowed to-
Treasury, we couldn't go at Fort Knox, we couldn't go into all these.
Yeah, we want to know if the gold's
Yeah.
still in Fort Knox.
That's what we want to know.
We want to know where's the gold at, if it's still there, if our presidents and our military has allowed us to be sold out.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't believe me, I got a little graphic to throw on the screen there too, with the Supreme Court ruling. So let's pull that up real quick. So there you go, bang. 13 hours ago, Supreme Court,
Nice.
major victory.
Yeah, man.
So that's good. So then another major victory we had is over the Houthis. Did you hear they had this like big meeting going on? And
Well, he dropped a bomb on the terror gang meeting.
yeah, you got to see this, guys. So Donald Trump waited for these guys to have a meeting, right? And they're on a big ass circle, and they're all sitting there chatting it up, and all of a sudden they just turned into pink dust. Over, gone. Let's roll that. Watch the bottom screen. Boom! Bye-bye. Houthis no more.
What's a Houthi? Is that a bunch of blowfish? Hootie and the blowfish?
Might as well be now. Yeah.
Houthi and the blowfish.
Houthi and the blowfish. Houthi got blown up.
All right, so
Yeah,
What next?
man.
Oh, Buckingham Palace.
Oh yeah.
Am I skipping something?
No, you're skipping. You're totally
All
skipping.
right, sorry about
So
that.
we got Turning Point USA and Brandon Tatum. He's a retired police officer. Showed up at one of these college campuses and wanted to have a little conversation and dialogue with the people on the campus. Well, guess what happens? Antifa shows up like they always do, with their full-blown mask on, all in black, umbrellas and big banners so you can't see who's behind the crowd, and destroyed this man's setup. Destroyed it. They broke everything.
You have video?
Ripped it off. Yep. So let's check this video out real quick of Brandon Tatum, his whole setup getting destroyed on the college campus.
Hey, hey, Jackson, hold up. Come on, please, get in there. Get in there.
Now that right there is domestic terrorism. Right? They have their political opinion and they're trying to preach it to everybody, which is protected under the First Amendment, and these guys come and squash it. And the cops stand by and do nothing.
The cops stood there and did nothing?
Yeah, look. So those cops are sitting there and they don't even lift a hand. They don't grab any of the property back. They don't even try to break up the crowd. They did nothing. So it's a complete stand down. And
That's why if you're a like-minded thinker like us, don't send your child to a liberal university. Send them to a conservative university so you don't have to worry about that nonsense. They're much more responsible kids, and they're in a like-minded environment, a patriotic environment where they're not people that hate our president, hate our country, and hate accountability, basically.
yeah, I get sick of seeing this on the TV, man. People,
yeah, it's
people
terrible.
burning flags, completely disrespectful. Nobody cares about nothing. People's property getting damaged,
And the police don't
destroyed.
do anything.
And the police don't do anything. And then when you go and stick up for yourself, the police want to jump on you first. Enough is enough.
Right. So, like I said, send your kids to conservative universities. Be careful where you send them to college. You don't want them being taught by a bunch of liberals.
Yeah, you got to be brave and stand up to these people. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, you can't send your kid off to a school where he's going to come back thinking the opposite the way you think. Be careful where you send your kid to university.
Yep, you waste 18 years of your life putting your blood, sweat, and tears into your child, and then you send them off to a university, and they come back with septum rings and
And
green
they're in
hair.
your basement for the rest of their life.
Yeah, basement dwellers, and they don't even have regular light bulbs. They keep them dim.
Yeah.
Goblins.
I know.
Goblins. Don't let your kids turn into goblins. All right? So Eric Swalwell, remember that guy? That little weasel?
No.
The guy that was dating the Chinese spy?
Oh, yeah.
Fang Fang?
Yeah.
So we have a lovely patriot that caught this guy in public and decided to go run up on him and start asking him questions. Look at this weasel squirm. Look at this. Check this out, guys.
What was his position?
He was in Congress.
As a fascist at some point and alluded to him being a national
We got
security
audio?
threat. Do you see that more of a national security threat, you sleeping with a Chinese spy, than transparency in the federal government? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? What's Fang Fang think of that? What are you doing? What's fascistic about exposing government corruption? I mean, I know you're just at dinner now with a bunch of lobbyists. They're buying you a bunch of booze, and that's awfully nice. I know you were talking about, maybe finding somebody else because you only like to people that are tens. I just heard that one too. So what do you think about that? Do you want to comment on any of it? Elon Musk is a national security threat, but you sleeping with a Chinese spy is not. Is that correct? You don't want to comment on that at all?
Yeah, look at
like
him.
Incredible. Congressman sleeping with spies.
Yep. Get back in the car. He runs for the car. They don't want to do nothing, man. They don't want to answer questions. They know they are so caught, it's not even funny.
Incredible.
Not even funny.
Sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah. And that's not the first one. I think Mitch McConnell got caught up with a Chinese spy, too.
Really?
Yeah. Nancy Pelosi had one working for her for years, for like 20
I know
years.
Hochul had one too, right? Hochul had a Chinese spy.
Yeah. I think they're handlers. That's what I think they are. I don't think they're spies. They're handling the people, It's crazy. Man.
Incredible. The grasp the Chinese government has on our politicians.
Yeah, that's after Tren de Agua. I say we start going after these Chinese nationals that made their way across the border and getting them out of here because
they're probably all getting jobs in government.
Yeah, man, it's not good. It's not good. They have a lot of intelligence officers that they sent over here that have been here for a couple years now.
So now we have a topic that is really not going to be easily believable. So pay close attention to what we are about to show you.
You talk about the king?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So this is a video that surfaced a while ago, and it's unbelievable. Unless you see it with your own eyes, which you're about to,
this
you
is
wouldn't
real,
believe it.
by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Pay close attention and look very carefully at what you're about to see.
Yeah. Make that full screen all the way. Take us out of that so they can see it. Now look at that kid. That's a kid all the way on the top of the floor with the sheet trying to get out, escape, and fell. Those are tourists. They saw it.
That is insanity.
So that's Buckingham Palace. That's the royal family. That's what goes on inside the confines of that place. And there's plenty of scandals that you could look up with, what's his name, Savile, Jimmy Savile, who was a very good close friend of King Charles, and before he was Prince Charles. And, yeah, so these people hang out with a bunch of sick individuals. And that clip was from a couple years back when somebody was just on the street filming the horses and then caught that on film, luckily, because 9 times out of 10, these things all get covered up. Nobody hears anything.
Absolutely.
And they have huge...
Who was the one of the royal family that now got, like, exiled or whatever because he was hanging out with Epstein?
That was Charles, Prince Charles.
No, it wasn't.
No, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
I can't think of it as well.
It wasn't Harry.
I don't remember who it was, but one of the royal family got in deep shit.
Andrew, Prince Andrew.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yes, Prince Andrew.
Our production team pulling a rabbit out of a hat for us.
So Prince Andrew, and they've always hung around these sick freaks.
Yeah.
And,
So he completely embarrassed the royal family by being caught with his pants down with Epstein. And now you see a baby trying to escape. I don't know if it was a baby, but a child trying to escape Buckingham Palace.
Absolutely nuts.
Insanity.
Absolutely nuts. And then speaking of, did you see the Greenland new state bird?
No.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to skip a little bit. We're going to go to the Greenland new state bird. Look, pull this thing up. Look.
Well, we skipped over the trans.
I know. I'm going to get to that next.
All right. Show me the bird.
Look at the bird.
Nice.
Look at the Greenland state bird. Oh, man. That's a hell of a bird. I'll tell you right now, it's a hell of a bird, believe me. Oh, my God. That's a sharp-looking bird right there. So, look, be on the lookout. Greenland's going to be selling those for $17.76. $17.76 per bird.
All right, so what's going on with the transhumanist agenda?
All right, now to snap into something scary. The transhumanist agenda, if you don't know what it is, look it up. Basically, where we're at right now in technology is, you notice how Elon Musk, I still don't trust him 100%. He's doing good things with Doge and saving the money. Hopefully he switched sides and he's on our team 100%. But if he's not, that shit is scary. Because he has the system to merge man with machine through Neuralink, right?
Well, Elon Musk has a lot of kids. He's got more kids than I do arrests.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got a lot of kids.
I do.
That's a lot of kids.
He does have a lot of kids.
So, at least he likes to get it on.
Yeah.
He could still be a Bond villain, but he's a horny one.
Exactly. But yeah, so I don't know what his deal is completely, but as of right now, he's exposing the fraud, corruption, waste, and abuse with all the money that went missing through our government.
Nice.
So
yeah,
I'm hoping he stays on that
far
track.
So good. I think he took it to the next level with Doge, and I think that he didn't think about his company or the ramifications. It's kind of like what happened with me and my company. In exposing the red light camera fraud and scam and theft by shortening our yellow lights, I jeopardized my own business. And that's exactly what Elon's doing. He's jeopardizing his own business to save us from all this fraud and embezzlement and just wasteful spending.
Yeah,
And
I
we
just
were
hope
over
he's
it.
not pushing that Neuralink thing, because one of the scientists that I follow that has to do with the World Economic Forum, who is right under Klaus Schwab, who I'm about to bring in right now, a lot of sick stuff in their agenda, man. Let's roll Klaus Schwab, see what he's talking about.
Nobody will be safe if not everybody is vaccinated.
Are you vaccinated, if I
Yes.
may ask?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very pro-vaccination.
Yeah.
The science is unequivocal.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants. Just think of sensors planted into our brains.
Basically implanted in your skull. So, but it would be flush with your skull. So you basically take out a chunk of skull, put the Neuralink device in there. You put the electrode,
off a computer,
very carefully.
But we're gonna put a computer.
It doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you if you take a genetic editing.
It's a fusion of the physical, the digital, and the biological world. That's really the essence of the fourth industrial revolution.
A merger with biological intelligence and machine intelligence.
An effort for man to merge with machine in a healthy way.
Yes.
To beat machines, you basically have to merge with machines.
So they're not playing games. They openly say it. They openly say, "Hey, we're gonna merge man with machine, and hey, this is the future." Yo, we don't want that, man. We do not want. I'm not hooking my brain up to nothing. I'm gonna make sure my daughter, my son, they're not hooking their brains to nothing, because
I'll watch RoboCop.
Yeah, no way. No way. You can go do it if you want to.
I'm just watching RoboCop.
You could be
That's
half
all.
robot over here on the show with me. Beep boop, beep boop. Nah, man, not happening. They haven't even mastered computers yet to stop viruses in computers, and now they're trying to merge computers with humans. Not a good idea at all. So, like I always say, we need a digital bill of rights to protect us against this stuff, and with the merger of AI, and that's should be a primary focus on these technology companies.
Do we have a conspiracy theory?
Oh yeah, you remember a long time ago they had the thing Q, the media,
Yeah, of course,
the media
of course.
obsessed over it.
Yeah.
QAnon, conspiracy people.
Yeah.
So when that thing first started coming out, I was intrigued a little bit just to see what the hell it was all about, right?
Yeah.
And I started looking at the stuff. Majority of the data that was coming out of these things, and what it was they called them breadcrumbs, and they would take a little piece of information, not give you all the information, but make you look up the
Certain
information.
dates.
Yeah, dates, times, certain names, and and certain organizations. What does this organization have to do with this number? And you're like, at first it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and then you start looking at it and you're like, wait a second, this company is here and it got started at the date they just said. Who's the CEO of this guy? And then you start looking into the CEOs, and then you start looking into who they associate with, and all of a sudden you start to see these really freakish patterns start to come out, where a lot of it's secret society stuff, symbolism, weird artwork, where these people are all obsessed with the same artist. They start doing weird things together and having weird parties and Diddy parties and freak offs. And there was what was the name of it? It was with Obama. Obama was in there. Uma Abedin. They were covered. It was a naked party. They would get ass naked, and then they would cover themselves in like neon paint and go into a room. It's all like lit up in black light. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, like weird stuff like that. And that's what these people would do.
Was Michelle there, El Caballo?
I hope not. Swinging that Louisville Slugger
I call it
everywhere.
El Caballo.
Oh my God, bro! We all know that's a man. We all know, Michael. We know about you, Michael, but it's all right. So speaking of, all right. So anyway, the whole Q thing. I lost my train of thought. But the whole Q thing was about getting people to do the research themselves and realize what the hell's going on in the world, and that things aren't quite the way you thought they were, and the people that are in control aren't as glamorous as you thought they were, and your icons are sellouts and they sold their souls. So this was a little video to kind of break down what's going on. Let's roll that full screen. That's going to be asset number. We got asset number 12. Yeah.
There was a time when our children stood at attention, and in one united voice recited the Pledge of Allegiance. When strength and honor meant something. When standing for our flag meant something. There was a time when our history was taught with pride and respect. When respect was given to those who served, bled, and died to protect and defend our freedoms. It was when we, the people, decided our future and had a voice that was heard. We are all bound by a feeling deep inside that people in power are exploiting and abusing us while using the powerful media apparatus to pretend they're not. All we ever wanted to do was the right thing, but they kept telling us we were wrong. We started to believe them and let ourselves forget everything that once made us strong. We became weak. We elected traitors to govern us. We allowed evil to prey on us. Those who claimed to represent us gave us false hope, made false promises. The evil and corruption only grew. They invented the word globalism to advance on their agenda of tyranny undetected, using fake narratives of social justice to neuter our resolve to fight back and silence us with shame. If you've had the misfortune of living through a globalist revolution, you will remember many false promises of prosperity and justice for all, but observing only poverty, violence, and death. One after another, these nations were robbed of every resource the land and waters produced. Citizens who would not surrender their freedoms were threatened, marginalized, or even killed. Those who did were weaponized against the rest. They blamed us for destroying the environment, for poverty, for slavery, for not going to college, or for just giving up. What you must learn is that it has always been them, a colossal global criminal class who had risen up and occupied every level of corporate, legal, and political power imaginable. In 2016, they were preparing for an endgame that was to start with the election of Hillary Clinton, and within 8 years would have culminated in nothing less than a mass global nuclear holocaust. Yet somehow, while humanity was taking its last step over the precipice of extinction, there was a miracle. You may know it as the plan. Brave patriots set into motion a sophisticated military-grade sting operation against the overwhelming network of corruption that had led all the way to the top. By the time the good people of the world learned of the frightening reality they were living in, and how close we came to the end of it all, we had already been saved. Raging around us is the final phase of a vast global shadow war, not between nations, but between the forces of good and the most unimaginable of evils. They know what's coming. It is now more clear than ever. Never in our history have they been this exposed. Never in our history have they come out from the shadows to fight. The truth is clearly visible. They defend the violent criminal gangs of MS-13. They openly promote the dismantling of our borders. They said there would be nuclear war if Trump remained in office. They encouraged violence against those who spoke out. They pushed hate, war, and economic decline. They wanted to stop peace talks with North Korea. They called for Trump to be impeached, not even providing a reason. They tried to get us to hate America, and so many obeyed. But now, each day more and more, we see they are terrified. They knew this day would come. The entire world is watching. Patriots from around the world know that if America should fall, so falls the world. That's why we have Q. We the people, patriots everywhere, stand at the ready. We volunteer our talents willingly. We fight. We think for ourselves. Dark to light.
And
we want awareness to all these programs that have been going on behind our backs.
Yeah.
We were talking about the chemtrails for 5, 6, 7 years. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Years exposing patents and so forth. We're going to get into that in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how many years we've been talking about it, decades, and nobody listens. Everyone laughs at you, and it's all fun and games until a big official comes out and says, "Hey, this is actually
Kudos to DeSantis for doing that. We've been asking our officials here in Long Island for a long time about it, and they play completely dumb. Nobody wants to talk about it. They just play dumb. Please just keep paying me my money and leave me out of this.
Yep, it's a subject nobody will touch.
It's beyond my pay grade. Yep. That type of mentality. Well, at least Ron DeSantis took it up, and he addressed it, and we're going to get into that.
Yep. After you see this one, tell your people to follow suit. If you have an elected official, tell them to get off their butt and see what's going on with this in your state.
Subscribe to the podcast every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock at the America First Warehouse Facebook page.
All right, let's run this Ron DeSantis clip.
Senator Ileana Garcia has legislation in the Florida Senate to ban geoengineering and weather modification in the state of Florida. I support the legislation. However, the Florida House of Representatives has gutted Senator Garcia's legislation, and they would actually codify the practice of geoengineering and weather modification. People got a lot of kooky ideas that they can get in and put things in the atmosphere to block the sun and save us from climate change. We're not playing that game in Florida. I support what Senator Garcia is doing, and I hope that people will tell the House of Representatives in Florida, do not gut.
We are not playing those games.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what I'm
Kudos
talking
to Ron
about.
DeSantis.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you for addressing that.
So,
yeah, people need to start talking about it to their friends, relatives. Show them. Just say, look up. It doesn't take much. Look up. Be aware of what's going on.
yeah, if you guys need a couple of patents to get you started, I brought a whole list of numbers. So, you could always go rewind back to this and check out these numbers and make sure I'm not telling lies, because you got to fact check me. Make sure I'm not telling no lies. So I'm going to read off these patent numbers. We got U.S. patent number 3899144A. It has to do with contrail generation. All right. We got U.S. patent number 4686605A, method and apparatus for altering region in the Earth's atmosphere, ionosphere, and or magnetosphere. We have U.S. patent number 6315213B1, method of modifying weather. You have U.S. patent 5360162A, method and apparatus for altering a selected region of maritime atmosphere. We have U.S. patent number 7381949B2, acidic rain reduction for weather modification. You have U.S. patent number 3630950A, combustible compositions for generating aerosols, particularly suitable for cloud modification and weather control. And then I'll read one more. I can keep going. U.S. 5762298A, method of modifying weather using carbon black. All right, so I could keep going on and on and on and on, and there you go, right in your face.
They're poisoning your children. Be aware of what's going on around you. Look up. Teach your kids to look up.
Yeah, and look up nanoparticles, right? Everybody thinks, oh, well, what's a nanoparticle?
I'm not exposed
look it up.
to that. You're being exposed to it. Your children are being exposed to it. Your pets are being exposed to it.
We all are.
We all are loaded up with nanoparticles.
Yep.
We're loaded up with them.
It's disgusting, and these are from these freaks that want to control the world and depopulate everybody.
And deals were cut with the soda companies. Don't let your kids drink soda. Deals were cut with these companies. They're loaded up with nanoparticles.
All the companies, yeah, the nanoplastics, the forever chemicals that don't leave your system. Yeah, very, very bad, very bad. So if the the food companies and the people that we put in charge to protect us and keep us safe and make sure things are running legit are just, throwing us out to the wolves and not caring, you can't trust them.
No.
The same way you can't trust the fake news, you can't trust them. And, it's a shame.
It is a shame. The world isn't what it used to be when we were kids. So make yourself aware of what's going on and what you're putting into your children and yourselves as far as food.
Yeah. Robert Kennedy's there. I heard They took out the wrong dye. They took out red 5. It's supposed to be red 40.
Oh, I don't know.
What's going on here? You know, like, so stay on these people's heels and let them know that you know exactly what dyes need to go. You know, you cross-reference the ingredients from other countries with ours. It's straight poison over here. And then they have the, organic ingredients on all these other countries. So enough is enough. Stop tolerating that,
We're also going to start lobbying the Suffolk County Legislature again and ask them to settle the class action lawsuit and return the money that was ill-gotten gains stolen from the taxpayers, from the people who paid the administrative fees on the red light camera
That was
tickets.
in the paper. I saw that in the paper the other day.
So we're going to start lobbying the legislature to try and get them to settle this case. Give the people their money back.
It's only right. I mean, it's only right. You extorted all these people out of their money for all this time, and, now that you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, it's time to drop the cookies.
After Suffolk County residents get their money back, maybe Nassau County will be more inclined to do the same, because Nassau County didn't do any lobbying, any protesting, and we won that lawsuit as well. So Nassau County residents are supposed to be returned somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million. Those people need to stand up for themselves, be heard at the Nassau County legislature.
Yeah. 500 million. That's a lot of shekels, man. That's a lot of shekels. Shit.
Well, they doubled down when Suffolk County went and reduced the red light camera fines down to $50, which was legit. Nassau County wouldn't, and they stayed firm at $150, and now they owe a lot of money to be doled back to the taxpayers. Shout out to the Republican administration, the Romaine administration, and the Suffolk County legislature, Republican-controlled legislature, conservative Republicans. We hope that we can get this case settled and the taxpayers of Suffolk County returned their money.
Yeah, immediately. The sooner the better.
It's the right thing to do. I know the Romaine administration is looking to build a legacy. I think they're doing a good job. I would like to see this get settled, and I think it would just be another monumental moment for the Romaine administration.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a video that surfaced that has to do. It's very disturbing. I gotta warn you. It's a Palestinian ambulance that was going to render aid and was blown up by the Israeli forces.
So we have a
Lights
video
blaring.
showing multiple ambulances rushing to the event they were trying to get to. I think it was some kind of accident or crash or something, and they were ambushed by IDF Israeli forces. They were all executed. 15 paramedics were executed. Their vehicles buried. They were buried in sand.
Yeah, they tried to cover all this up, which is even crazier because...
And the video was released. It got out because when they buried the vehicles, they uncovered a couple days later.
Yeah, it was 4 days later they uncovered this horrific scene, and they were pulling bodies out. And
one of the cell phones recorded the whole incident.
Yeah, they weren't expecting somebody to have a cell phone recording the thing in live time. But let's run this video and take a look at this. You can clearly see the lights on.
Maybe you can get us some audio.
How's that audio up there?
يا رب يكونوا بخير. هي مرمين 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 مرمين. بسرعة بسرعة. حادث.
Yeah. There's no excuse for this.
No. They had their lights on. And all the a lot of the people that saw the video or heard about it say, oh, they were transporting munitions or a bomb or something. That's not an excuse. You detain them. You detain them and check the ambulances if that's the case. You don't bury them and try and bury the crime. But there's been crime after crime. Countless hospitals. I think there was like 7 hospitals bombed to smithereens. All the refugee camps bombed.
Yeah.
And women and children targeted. All the journalists get targeted. They've killed, I think, 40 journalists so far.
Yeah,
It's just, I know Benjamin Netanyahu is in the United States visiting Donald Trump right now. He should not be permitted to leave. He needs to stand for the crimes against humanity. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I think these are crimes against humanity. It's been blatant. He's been very blatant about it. He would say, go here, go there. Everywhere they set up a refugee camp, he bombed it.
Yep.
And anytime he got wind where the reporters were, he bombed them.
Yep, and you keep pushing the goalpost back. No, I want this amount of space, and then just bombing everybody when he tells them the refugee locations. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's terrible. And any reporters are getting killed. Their families are getting killed. And nobody talks about it. And if you say anything contrary to what the mainstream media is preaching, you're a
anti-Semite.
Yeah, anti-Semite. It's just
retarded.
Like I say all along, people want to call me an anti-Semite. I have dozens of Jewish friends. It has nothing to do with that. I love all people.
What's wrong is wrong.
Yeah. I'm not on one side or the other. What I can tell you is that these are crimes of war, and that he needs to stand trial. And I really hope Donald Trump does not permit him to leave this country. He's here right now. Don't let him leave. Let him stand trial. Let him stand trial for those actions.
Yeah. And all the other ones. All the other ones that was done by the IDF.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides they're not, there's no helping each other. You know, it's crazy.
But like I said, since Israel broke the ceasefire, there's been like 1,600 people. There's like 60,000 people killed so far, and I think another 11,000 missing.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. The war needs to stop is what really has to happen.
Stop all the wars. Stop all the killing.
Donald Trump, you said you were going to stop this war. Stop the war and let Benjamin Netanyahu stand trial. Hand him over to France and see how he makes out, or Germany. See how he does.
Yeah.
Hand them over to another country. I'm not saying that we have to hold the trial here or anything like that. I'm just saying don't let him leave. Let him stand trial in the international courts.
Yeah. What other option is there? You know, because
there has to be accountability at some point. There has to be accountability. There are rules for war. You don't just go bombing hospitals, killing paramedics and reporters. There has to be rules, and he decided not to abide by them, and they've constantly lied about their justification for their actions, and burying these ambulances with the people is just unconscionable or inconscionable, whatever it is.
That was a cover-up. You know you did wrong when you have to cover up and bury ambulances and bodies and try to make it seem like nothing happened.
And he's been burying bodies all through this war, burying mass graves. And it just got to stop. Let him stand trial. Let him stand trial.
Yep.
And there is no ill will toward Israelis. None. It's just the crimes of war.
Yeah.
These are war crimes. He's not abiding by the rules.
Yeah, these aren't technical
What is it,
strikes.
Geneva Convention? Is that what it was, the Geneva Convention? Well, he's not abiding by the rules at all. And he's been bombing hospitals since the very get-go.
Yeah.
And cutting off water and electric and all their supplies, all their food, starving them out, and they want to say it's not genocide. It's absolutely genocide.
Yeah.
People need to open their mouths. Stop cowering in fear that you're going to be called an anti-Semite. It's got to stop, really. We are not people that dislike one side or like another side. It's not about that.
If you're wrong, you're wrong, and we're going to call you out on it either way, no matter where you stand in life. Because it's, there's no justification in killing innocent people.
No.
For
Too many children.
For what cause? For what cause? What is the end cause that all this bloodshod's happening? Because they want access to.
Well,
to
no, they said it was basically revenge for October 7th or October 8th, whatever it was.
No, but they want the land.
But let's talk about that event where 1,400 people were supposedly killed. I think it was 1,000 people were killed, maybe 1,100, something like that. I don't remember exactly how many people were killed. When there was a concert going on in Israel. They moved the location. They put it right on the border, and they didn't provide them any security. And a lot of people that follow me say, "Why are you so against what's going on? Or why do you?"
It's not that. It feels like a setup.
Yes, it's a false flag.
Feels like a setup.
It's a false flag. How do you move the concert right to the border of Palestine.
Of a hostile country.
And then not provide security. And then when you find out that they're under attack, you take 8 hours to respond?
Yeah,
and
no
then
way.
I'm supposed to buy that? Wrong dude. Wrong
Yeah.
dude. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I think it was a false flag, especially for the fact that Netanyahu and Israel founded Hamas.
Oh, and you know what else was going on around that time? The money laundering operation with Ukraine. Remember, Congress would not spend any more money with Ukraine, and all of a sudden, oh shit, this thing happens.
Right.
And now
It
we're
just so
now
happened-
pumping hundreds of billions of dollars over there.
Yeah. So when we cut off money going to Ukraine, this pops off, and now hundreds of billions go in that direction. Listen, it's all coming back to our politicians and kickbacks and so forth, but we don't buy it. We didn't buy the original event that took place where the Israel was invaded and 1,000 or 1,100 people were killed. That was, in my opinion, I smelled a false flag. So that's why I didn't go crazy about believing that this actually happened.
And we're not saying
it
nobody
may have
died.
happened,
It definitely
but I think
happened.
it was a setup.
But yeah, how do you not have security forces? How do you not get tipped off
8
that
hours?
you have what, AC-130s flying over?
Yeah.
AC-130s dropping off paratroopers left and right. They're coming from out of the sky everywhere, and nobody knew that plane was leaving the tarmac of the other country. How does the military not know that? They're supposed to be the most sophisticated military in the world, aside from us.
I didn't know that there was paratroopers involved.
That's where they came down in parachutes to that raid.
That's the thing. We never saw footage. There was no footage. So, by all means, if you guys, anybody knows of footage or has footage, send it over. But I didn't believe it. 8 hours to respond to an attack. In a situation where there's constantly confrontation between the two countries,
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I'm sorry.
This thing keeps popping out of my ear. But yeah, it's enough with this weird stuff going on where you have to ask questions because the story does not feel right.
Absolutely.
Enough of
So
that.
yeah, I think that was disgraceful what was done to the 15 paramedics, burying them, just like so many other cover-ups going on over there. And we on this podcast, on the Know Your Enemies podcast, James Justice and myself are not afraid to talk about
Not
these
at all.
things.
Not at all. And we're
So,
going to get to the bottom of everything.
Donald Trump, do not let Netanyahu leave this country. Do not let him leave. Hand him over to the international court and let him answer for his actions.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ambulance was clearly lit lights. So let that be the last time that happens because enough is enough. Enough is enough.
He's a war criminal. Bottom line, he's been bombing hospitals. They've bombed every hospital. They cut off the food. They cut off the
If
the
we're going after
medicine.
him, we might as well go after Obama too, because
Right.
Obama was just he
Absolutely.
destroyed Libya, Sudan, everywhere. They were going in just dropping bombs everywhere, and this is what caused the migrant crisis in the first place, where all these people needed to be relocated because we blew up their countries, and then they had nowhere to go. And good old George Soros paid for their boat crossings and their little rafts going across everywhere. So that's what's going on. It's a big setup, and the puppeteers behind this, they're all going to be exposed. We're going to shed light on each and every one of them, and there's no escape.
This one's a big one because it got caught on camera. So it's not that it could be misconstrued. No, we've got the video. We just showed you the video, and we weren't afraid to talk about it.
No. And that's what you got to do. You got to put it out there, have the discussion, look at the facts, and draw conclusions based off real facts, not what somebody told you or parroted to you that they heard from somebody else that heard from somebody else.
Exactly.
So, that's it.
So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to Know Your Enemies podcast, airing every Tuesday from the America First Warehouse at 6 p.m.
Yep. So make sure you share, like, subscribe, get this video out to as many people as you can. It is detrimental that we reach critical mass through these podcasts. So make sure you share with everybody you know. Tell them to send it to their family members and have them share it with everybody they know so we could all be on the same page and finally extinguish the flames of the New World Order like we were supposed to do back in the 1700s before they hijacked our country. All right? So let's finish the deed. Let's put the nail in the coffin. God bless you. God bless your families. We love you all. Patriots, stand up, fight, be informed. Knowledge is power. And we will see you on the next one, coming to you live from the AmericaFirstWarehouse.com.
Know your enemies.
Know your enemies.
your enemy.